Our next segment is service committee responses during COVID. And one of the things that I noticed just doing public relations on the zonal level is that a lot of H&I subcommittees were completely dead in the water and shut down. So at this point, I have 2 H&I chairs that are actively doing some real valuable service commitments. But the first one I'm going to introduce you to is Nicole C.
Hi guys, I'm Nicole. I'm an addict. So now I'm the Nassau area, Long Island, New York, H&I chair, and 2 months into my term as chair, you know, the pandemic hit, and we got shut down, like Wilvina said, dead in the water. And it felt like it took a little while for like the facilities. I kept reaching out, you know, can my people still come in? And they were still going in, and it was a lot of confusion in the beginning, but then they finally said, no, we're done. And so I had no idea what to even do, say, you know, to the committee members. And I was happened to be on a Zoom, like overseas meeting, because, you know, Zoom took off so quickly when the pandemic hit. And I saw that at this particular meeting, there was a facility in that meeting. And I was like, well, how do we make that happen? And I can't take credit. I really can't. Mike O, who just shared before me, thank God for him. You know, he called me up, and he's the panel coordinator in the H&I subcommittee. And he was like, look, this is what we're going to have to do. We got to get this running, so on and so forth. I'm like, okay, how? You know, I'm willing to help in whatever way I can, but I had no idea how. And it took a while, right? Like first we were just doing the phone thing, like they were able to dial into a phone number. And I'm pretty sure that our subcommittee met prior to us up and running virtual presentations in the facilities. Like I had sent out a mass thing that we were going to meet, even though we weren't, you know, having presentations, that we were going to meet at a subcommittee. And I was very discouraged. I need to say that I was very discouraged, because that first subcommittee meeting, there was like 4 people there. And I'm like, where is my entire committee? You know, and fast forward to now, like, Zoom was actually one of the best things that could happen to the Nassau area subcommittee of H&I, because we have people doing service from everywhere. I have California people in California hosting Nassau area H&I presentations, Florida, Pennsylvania, like. So we were struggling in my area, like big time, a lot of open commitments. And anyway, so we got the phone thing going, and we're really trying to get people to come, you know, help us out and do service, you know, trying to advertise it a little bit on social media that we needed help. And I was overwhelmed by the people that showed up for Nassau area to help us do virtual presentations. And it kind of took off, right? Like there were some glitches in the beginning. We had to update our opening format. Then some issues came up about policy and how we changed policy to fit the Zoom format. Like we had no idea, you know, how long we were actually going to be doing this. And I think a lot of us thought it was only going to be for a couple of months. And here we are, we're still, you know, doing virtual presentations. And we have an obligation. It's part of our policy that we have to do 2 learning days a year. And, you know, obviously the first one was had to be virtual because there was just nothing open yet over the summer. And I have to say I was so nervous because, like I said, in my area, H&I seems to struggle to get support and people to even come to our events and take commitments. And we're constantly looking for people to do H&I. And I guess I want everyone to love H&I like I love H&I, and that's just not reality, right? So anyway, we planned this virtual learning day, and we had we took advantage of the fact that we were going to be on Zoom, and we asked people from literally all over the world. You know, we had speakers from Africa, we had speakers from London, we had speakers from Ireland. Like it was so cool to be a part of that and to hear and learn about H&I, the differences and just people all over the world doing H&I service. And we're going to have another one in December. So we decided to make it virtual again. But some of the issues that we had in the area. We had to, the facility obviously weren't going to provide hardware to have the virtual presentation. So, a couple of us said, well, why don't somebody, if we could try to get somebody to donate an iPad or a computer or whatever. And we were able to get some donations, but then we had decided that we were going to ask the area, and we got a little bit of pushback from the area that they didn't want to give us the money for it. So then we wound up deciding that we were going, since we weren't buying any literature, that we were going to use a month's worth of literature money to purchase the piece of hardware for one of the facilities. And like I said, thank God for Mike O, like he got us up and running. 1, 2, 3, got Chromecast so that the presentation can be streamed onto the televisions in the facilities, and that's really it. I mean, we're kind of like on our way to being a well-oiled machine. Like it's working really well. We do have some open commitments. So if anyone is just dying to do some H&I service, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can literally do it from anywhere. I am just so proud to be a member of H&I, our subcommittee right now, and the steering committee. Like I don't know what I would have done without them. And still, we get the job done. And I have to say that we are the only fellowship in this area going into the facilities in our area. So it was super important that we got people to come do these commitments, right? Like there's not one other fellowship bringing H&I presentations. We are it. Our whole time segments changed. We're in there in the morning, the afternoon, in the evening. So we have a ton of commitments, and we're doing it. And I'm super grateful for everyone who has helped out. Like I said, I can't take credit for getting it up and running.
Well, Nicole, it sounds like the pivotal step was purchasing the iPads,
Yes.
getting them programmed. How many iPads do you have donated currently?
3. Well, we bought one, right, Mike? We bought one and we had 2 donated.
Okay, so those iPads were loaded with just the Zoom software. And
Yeah.
then in the facilities, are the screens showing? Are the screens blocked out? Are there any issues with HIPAA laws? Just very quickly.
We have not had any HIPAA problems with the facilities. It took us a little bit longer to get into one of our facilities is a state facility, and obviously that took a little bit more time to get permission and work out all the stuff. And Mike again took care of all that. But yes, they're streamed from a iPad to the television in the facility. And I had the honor of doing the first H&I virtual presentation in this area. The first meeting happened to fall on a Saturday, which is when I do my commitment. And yes, the hardware was wiped clean, and Mike put all this stuff on it. And the Chromecast came later. So if the
What is Chromecast? What do you mean Chromecast?
It streams.
No,
like,
we're not. We're not
if,
using Chromecast now. I went hardwired. I went hardwired with an adapter.
Okay.
But it's an adapter that goes to HDMI that goes to the TV in one of the facilities.
Right. So the members, if the clients in the facilities, if they're not comfortable being in front of the camera, they don't have to be. They can sit on the side of the room where they're not in view. And if they get comfortable and they come in front of the camera, they can. But we've had no HIPAA problems so far, knock on wood.
Okay. Nicole, that was fabulous. People are asking you to put your information in the chat. And I know that Nassau area H&I meets, what is it, the first Thursday of the month?
Yeah.
I put it in the chat already with the link.
All right. So, thank you so much. You guys are awesome.